So Jane, thank you for joining me here today. And I think, as I said, you've got an amazingly inspiring story that I'd love to capture today, if that's okay, so that we can share it with other people who perhaps have been in a similar situation to yourself in the past. Yeah. Okay. So all I want you to do to begin with is just take yourself back to before you came on your first training with us. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which I think was the hypnosis weekend for you,
yes,
wasn't it?
Was, yeah.
So what was life like for you at that time?
It was a bit of a con, really.
Mm.
So I'd been through, the way I've always explained it to people is my life had been completely shredded. Mm. So complex life. My mother lived with me, as did my daughters and my grandson. Career woman, so corporate career, senior. Got to a level I never thought I would have got to, but in a 3-year period everything around me was shredded. Mm-hmm. So my mum very suddenly developed advanced dementia and went into a nursing home. My partner of 10 years just up and left. Mm-hmm. And then I was effectively got rid of at work. Right. Whatever way you look at it, at the level I was, they didn't want me anymore. And I spent a period of months, because I got a good payoff, kidding myself and therefore other people that I was actually okay. Mm-hmm. I was having a break, career break, just chilling, just recharging the batteries. But actually I was completely imploding. Mm-hmm. And the more people said, oh, you'll be okay, you'll be all right, you'll be successful, you'll be this, I wasn't. And so I was becoming a real recluse, making excuses not to go out. So all of a sudden, whereas I hated housework, had a cleaner before, I had to do the housework. I had to cook the meals for my children. I couldn't possibly, and I was doing all these things to avoid facing up to the fact that I actually couldn't, and it wasn't the case I couldn't go out and do things.
Yeah. So what sort of emotions were you experiencing yourself at that time?
Fear, really scared, affecting my sleep. Angry, I was very angry at what people who I thought had done this to me. Terrible guilt about my mum. Failure. And it was as every time people said, oh, this, that, and about me and what I'd done in the past or how I was, it didn't help, it just seemed to make it worse. Yeah. So, yeah, all the negative things, I didn't feel physically well. Mm-hmm. I didn't think I looked any good. I felt I'd aged. And looking back at the pictures, yeah, I looked dreadful. Yeah. I had lost pride. And so, yeah, all the negative emotions that I could have, I think I felt, and all together.
Okay. So did you sort of know at that time that's where you were? Did you feel that you could get yourself out of that situation? What was your mindset at that time?
At that time, I actually thought I could sort it all out. Mm. I kept moving the timeline, the task, sort of saying, well, actually, next weekend, after I've done this, it'll be okay. Yeah. And actually, I had a little talk to myself, yeah, come on, Jane, sort it out, you can do this. So all the sort of the positive, yeah, you can do it, but I kept moving the time. So next weekend, oh, I've got to do that, and I was making excuses. But at the time, I just thought that was okay. I've got plenty of time. I deserve this break. Yeah.
But there was something more going on.
Yes, and I just didn't. And the thing was, people around me were noticing, and they were behaving differently. But I didn't notice any of that.
Yes.
I was just in this was okay, this was I could live with, and I can sort it out whenever I want to. I've done this before, but it's next week, after I've done that. Yeah. Well, I can't go out and do that because this has happened. And all the things that were happening were completely irrelevant in terms of my priorities or anything else. Yeah, yeah. So,
So that was, how long ago was that?
It was about June, I think, I came on my weekend with you.
Okay.
So I literally.
So that would be this year, 2018?
Yes, 2018. Okay. So I've had a whole year of just losing my being, everything.
Yeah. and who you were.
Yes.
Yes. So you came on the hypnosis training in June. You joined us for NLP Plus practitioner training in September.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So let's move forward to where you are now. You're on the NLP Plus master practitioner training at the moment. So how are things different for you now?
How are they different? Okay. So I don't carry those negative emotions. I stopped sticking pins into people with the anger. I can openly talk about how I felt then and how I know now what had happened. I can acknowledge those feelings. I don't well up with tears when I talk about my mum. So all of the negative stuff I've been carrying, and not just for 3 years, this was 55 years of stuff, as Mr. Taylor would say, that had literally, and so the first 48 hours of practitioner, I'd gone through a body-mind transformation, and even getting out of my car on my drive after the second day, my future son-in-law said to me, "Wow, what's happened to you?" So the positive energy, I look younger, I feel younger, I can think clearly. Every day is an adventure. Every event is something to be curious about. I can't. It's just. It's very difficult to put into words. I think it's my my body will speak. But I love where I am now.
Brilliant.
I can put into context. How can I put? The past is the past.
Yes.
And I can't change that. I acknowledge that, and it's part of me. But the future, I can take responsibility for, and that's what I'm doing, and I love
Excellent.
it. Love
so
it.
You now have goals for the future for
I
you?
have goals, yes, across all the areas of my life. Very different from what I thought they were when I left work 18 months ago, but they make me feel really good.
Excellent.
And when I talk to people about them, they just get them.
Yes. So how do you think they're different to what you thought they were going to be?
Because they reflect my values and who I am, not who I'm pretending to be or other people want me to be. They reflect who I am and what I want to do.
Thank you, Jane. Really appreciate you
My
sharing
pleasure,
your story.
my pleasure.
Thank you so much.